Welcome back to the White Gray Black Weekly Manga Podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all of your favorite ongoing Japanese manga. My name is Bruce. I am the proprietor of the White Gray Black YouTube channel. With me again this week is my partner in mayhem, Gautam.
Hello, hello.
This week we have some fun stuff on the docket. We have the end of Tenmaku Cinema after only 21 chapters from the creative duo behind Shokugeki no Soma. And we have two new very interesting chapter ones, including one from my favorite comic character of all time. We have Batman Justice Buster, chapter 1. And we have a pretty classic hero's journey with some really good art starting in Weekly Shonen Jump. That's Mamayuyu, chapter 1. All that, manga news, and more coming right up. So let's go ahead and get into Tenmaku. Yeah. There it is. Tenmaku Cinema. Chapter 21, the last chapter. This is by Tsukura Yuto and Saeki Shun. And this is the end. And we talked about chapter 1 of this back in, I guess it would be March or February. Sad to see it go. I understand why it's gone. I'm not really going to miss it, is about the shortest way I could put it. Gautam, what about you?
Well said. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it really deserves a spot on the docket, but I liked a lot about it. No. I think people who love movies
yes,
generally like this one, but I think for everyone else, it is probably boring. And even I got bored.
I also did. It was a pleasant boring, because this is probably the best art that WSJ has seen in
for sure,
years.
Yeah,
Saeki Shun is an absolute master, and I really hope he comes back, because this is the best art I would say across. This is maybe second to Dan to Dan, but it maybe even better than it in some situations, right? So
I'm thinking I don't know if Shonen Jump is the right magazine for this particular thing.
For this duo?
For Tenmaku?
Or just for Tenmaku,
Just for Tenmaku, because I don't think it's fast-paced or has the stakes that a lot of other Shonen Jump series do. It's like a slow burn with lower stakes, and it's all about, creation and creativity. And I know Akane is like that too, but Akane feels like a sports anime, and this doesn't,
I mean, yeah. For sure you're right about all that. I agree with you, and I think that's kind of what Tenmaku was missing. It was just missing that sort of sense of urgency, action, adventure, kind of high energy. It didn't really have high energy. I think it was a very low energy series.
It was a pretty mellow series.
Which even Akane, which again, like you mentioned, which is structured very much like a sports anime, has super high energy during the performances. Here, the big moments were kind of melancholy, and we got the scene, and the kind of visual storytelling of it worked, but it was just kind of boring. I only really liked the main guy and the main girl. None of the side characters were super special at all, which, coming off of something like Shokugeki no Soma, where every side character was exceptional, is very disappointing.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And we mentioned this before, and I think this will be the last time we mention it, because it's the last time we'll talk about Tenmaku.
Yeah.
Is that Shokugeki no Soma was all stakes, right?
Yes.
And no pun there. It's all the whole thing is about fucking battling, about food battles, food wars.
Yeah.
This is the opposite, where they don't really have a sense of urgency or a major conflict.
Yeah.
There is mystery, and there is drive for the main character, but nothing that I feel would make me sweat as an audience member and say, oh man, what happens to them next,
Yeah. There's no real contest. There's no aggression. I mean, aggression's not the right word. There's nothing really standing in their way. Yeah, there's no antagonistic force. There's nothing standing in their way other than they don't know how to do it. Will they figure it out? And which means that in the end, the lack of all those things means a lack of drama, which is a lack of interest. I do think that these are still well-written characters. This is still a well-written thing. it's definitely not right for Weekly Shonen Jump readers, and like
agreed.
It's just it's in the wrong magazine. I think this could, even in something like Weekly Shonen Magazine, probably would have stuck around for 2 or 3 years, and people would have been praising it. I think the art in this last chapter was exceptional. Of course, I was like looking
the
at
last chapter was really good as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good story. This is, I think, not a bad little 21 chapter, miniseries, essentially.
You know what? It's weird because like I am of two minds about this. Mm-hmm. And I think you are too, right? I think we liked it, but at the same time, we completely understand why it got canned.
It's tough because it is. I don't want to be like, oh, it's more mature for an adult audience, but it was slow, it was character focused, it focused on movies, which I know you and I both like. This is something that appeals to us more than the vast majority of other Shonen Jump readers, I would say, right? Like, and even worse, sort of like, yeah, got canceled, probably deserved it. I would have loved to do more chapters of this. There was some mystery still left over, but yeah, I don't feel too bad about this one because I know that this pair is coming back in, I think it's next March or next February 2024 for a one-shot in Jump Giga. So they're already sort of on to their next thing. They're a great pair. I think they'll try to find something else that works, and I hope that they do. My guess is they probably get another shot in WSJ maybe late next year.
I think Weekly Shonen Jump would be idiots not to give them another crack because... Yeah. I mean, art alone is fantastic, but
for sure.
I think a few things here, right? You can tell by how optimistic this ending left off that they still have a good relationship with Weekly Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
There's so many things that have been axed where the author.
The final chapter calls out, like, sometimes stories end too soon, like literally writing things down like that,
Yeah, this is the name and address of my editor. What was it? Red Hood, that had the absolute freak out of an ending.
And was it the PPPPP, the piano thing? That one ended, and the last chapter was, like, the author just, like, calling out, like, sometimes stories end too soon. You don't get to make the decision around it. And it's like, whoa, okay, dude, he's not coming back.
That's a rough one, buddy.
Yeah, but this is Tenmaku Cinema is going to have a bonus chapter or an epilogue or an extra thing that's going to be on Jump Plus and in the final volume. I think Jump Plus would probably be a better place for these two to start out. I really wish. It's so strange that Shueisha WSJ doesn't use Jump Plus to just feed their main magazine. Why they don't just ask things like Kindergarten Wars, which is not taking breaks, publishes every single week, is great, is a hyper high seller. Hey, do you want to be in regular WSJ so more people read you? That's just weird to me.
I think it's because they want people who read the regular magazine to also use the Jump Plus service, effectively getting people to double dip.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's just a theory.
Who knows? They produce some flops. I mean, WSJ picks 4 new things every 6 months. One of them is good. In this situation, none of them are good, except we got MMA tacked onto the end, which was a number 5, which was good.
MMA's tight. It's still tight. It's still good.
Yeah, but the rest, I mean, it looks like from the first batch that we're getting Kill Blue and Nue's Exorcist sticking around, which is surprising for both of us at least, because Kill Blue I understand. I understand Kill Blue. Nue's Exorcist.
I half get Kill Blue. It's okay. But can people who like Nue's Exorcist who listen to this explain the appeal? Like, I don't get it.
Absolutely. Those are the comments popular. I want. People talk about, like, I go into the comments and it's just people talking about the plot. The art was fine. The art was better than Do Retry and probably better than Ice Head Gil also. But I don't know, man. It's just,
I hate the main character.
Main character. It's just Bleach over. It's just Bleach. Our Yu Yu Hakusho version, 27
with a less interesting main character.
Yeah, with a worse main character and worse art and really stunted paneling, and we did not like New Age Exorcist. If it does end up sticking around, maybe I'll give it another try. Maybe it just rapidly improves. There have been some series where the first chapter is not great or bad that have gotten drastically better. I'll call out Vibration Man, which came out today on the day of this recording, which is
what, let's talk about that like today as well, because I think it's worth mentioning. But explain to us the appeal of New Age Exorcist. We are just born to hate that series, so I would be happy to change my mind.
Yeah, but I mean, back to Tenmaku, 21 chapters, good run. I don't anything else on it. There's not a whole lot to say. It was good. Wasn't good enough. It wasn't the right thing for Weekly Shonen Jump, I think.
Honestly, no, I have nothing more to say. I think it makes sense that it was axed. Looking forward to seeing what they do next, though.
Yeah. All right, good. We can get to the good shit. We can talk about fucking Batman and Manga! Okay.
Yeah.
Let me preface this with, I love Batman. That's like, I could give you a history of how I grew up with him, and he was the first and only superhero I've ever truly loved. I followed his comics for 30 years almost now. One of the greatest comic characters of all time. Amazing. I love Batman. Sense of Justice is awesome. He's in a manga now. He's probably appeared in a couple other little side things, but this came out. This is actually a full volume that you can buy on Amazon, which I might go do. We got a fan translation of it, so, or maybe it's a direct, might be a digital rip, I don't know, not sure where it happened. Anyways, this is called Batman Justice Buster. Quick history lesson on the Justice Buster. The Justice Buster originally is a Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo creation, which is a robot that is meant to bust the Justice League. It is the robot Batman created to counter the Justice League in their Batman run back in... When did their run start? 2005, 2008, something like that.
Was he able to bust the Justice League with the robot?
He does. He does do that. That's like maybe the first Justice League crossover that Scott Snyder wrote in that world. But Gautam, did you get a chance to read this?
I did. It was tight.
Something I really appreciated is that this had some really good paneling and really good visual storytelling and really kind of like let the pages breathe. I mean, like this is like. This does something that now Kurosawa does a lot, which it'll spend like half a page or a full page just telling you where you are in the world, right? In this page, it's like you see a close-up of a wet street, you zoom out, okay, you're in the streets of Gotham, you zoom up, okay, you're in, the slums or somewhere, you zoom in, and then I think the next thing you see, even here, right, it's like Wayne Tower, zoom in, there's a window on the side, we're going to this specific window. I really appreciate visual storytelling like this. And the action paneling, also really good. Batman chasing Firefly is really cool. There's not a whole lot of like plot stuff that happens in here, but essentially
it was mostly action.
It was mostly sort of action, scene setting, which I really appreciate in a chapter 1 to just kind of take your time and get me interested. The main thrust that comes through here is Batman chases Firefly. He has a computer that's helping him out. At one point, he's trying to grapple to, and this is great. I love this action paneling here. If you can see it on screen, I think I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the computer like locks him out of using his grappling hook, and he's like, "What?" Has to forcibly reset. Has to grapple afterwards, and I think that allows Firefly to get away, and he's Batman mad, Batman angry. So he goes back to talk to his computer, and he's like, "Why'd you do that? Why'd you forcibly disable it?" And the computer's like, "Oh, I calculated the potential for traps and the danger of people around and all this other stuff. And I decided that if you grappled there, the chance that you triggered a trap and had casualties happen meant that I could not let you shoot that thing." And it's like, and Batman's like, "Okay, good judgment." And the AI is called Robin, which this is new. This is not, Robin has never been sort of Batman's computer companion. And that's sort of that's like really all we get in chapter 1 as far as plot. But it looked great. It's awesome. This is a cool new idea. This is a similar idea to, and I'm going to forget the name of it. Is it Omega? There's an AI that Batman designs to put into robots to protect Gotham that eventually goes, well, the best way to protect Gotham is to actually kill all the heroes and all the bad guys. And so it goes rogue and turns bad.
Is that from the animated series?
It shows up in the animated series, yeah. It's originally, I think, like an early 90s, maybe late 80s thing.
It doesn't like copy Superman's power, and he uses kryptonite on it because it copies their weakness too.
No, you're thinking of, what is that character's name? That's a Superman bad guy who can just copy powers. Batman AI bad guy. It's not Dave.
That would be terrible.
Surely it's not Dave, right?
I don't.
Digitally Advanced Villain Emulator. No, it's not Dave. It's called. God, what is it?
Every villain is lemons.
Does Batman have an AI assistant like Jarvis?
Either way,
Anyways,
this looked clean as hell. You know,
art here
You're
is
right.
super sick.
Yeah, the art is spectacular. I can't describe this anything but clean. Like, you're right about the paneling, like taking its time setting stuff up. Never felt rushed. Everything made sense. But goddamn, the character designs, the action, it was beautiful.
Do you want to take a swing? I don't know if you read the outline script. Do you want to take a swing at what these two authors had been doing for like 20 or 30 volumes before they're doing this?
I read the first.
These guys did Ultraman for like years, and it really shows with Batman's suit. It looks like an Ultraman suit. I think it looks super cool though. I'm hype beyond hype for this. This is your favorite sports player walking into a bar for me. This is like literally my favorite comic character of all time in the thing that I spend most of my free time doing, reading manga. So yeah,
I'm happy to see that Robin's just like a little robot in this.
I'm interested too because this is a new story, new take. It looks like they've kind of gotten free. I don't want to say free run, but it looks like they're allowed to kind of do whatever they want here. So very interesting.
I think Batman is super cool, but I don't love the concept of sidekicks in general. So this is like a perfect meet in the middle situation for me.
Yeah, sidekicks are almost always not as well written unless they just get years and years of development, or they are. Batman has a lot of sidekicks. He
does, and I know they're like super necessary, but I just don't like the idea of like a little kid tagging along.
That's I think the biggest issue.
Yeah.
As soon as they're like adults, it's like I get it. An 18-year-old absolutely can sort of fight on par with most people, but when it's like Robin's 12 and he's wearing a circus outfit, I don't know about that one, Batman.
But either way, great stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. I think everyone should go read this just because it is such an easy fucking read.
And apparently you can just go buy volume 1 on Amazon. It'll be there in like 2 or 3 days.
Oh,
so
true.
I literally might just go do that. But
have you seen Batman Samurai, that movie?
I have not seen that. I wanted to watch it, and I realized I was going to have to watch it twice because the Japanese script and the English script are two completely different scripts. So I've always been like, I don't want to watch it twice. I probably just won't. I also heard it's not very good, but it looks interesting.
As long as it's like, I guess it looks pretty, and Batman does the basic Batman stuff. I think it'll be like a solid 6 out of 10.
I'm a fan of almost everything Batman, so I'm sure I would enjoy the heck out of it. We do get in the very last pages here of this a reveal of I think it's the Joker is my guess.
I hope not. He's too hot.
Well, that's standard anime bullshit right there. Of course they'd make Joker hot. But
because
he said something about like
make hot,
dude, you don't even get me started. I have a friend with essentially a clown fetish, but we won't go into that.
So
I think because he makes a comment on the very last page that I didn't put on here because it had, I think, like the Scandalator's name. I'm not trying to out them. I said something about like, oh, this isn't a laughing matter, or like this isn't funny. He makes like a joke pun, right? And I was like, I think that makes him Joker. Yeah. It's either Joker or it's a young Commissioner Gordon, and they've aged him way down. That was my other guess. Is he dresses like Commissioner Gordon with the sort of suit and tie and the long trench coat? So, yeah.
It could be Harvey Dent.
Could be Harvey Dent. Yeah.
It would make no sense with that line, though. You're right. That's a good point.
Yeah, the last laugh or whatever pun he made. Yeah. Who knows? I don't know. This is right up my alley is an understatement. This is the entirety of my alley exists in a Batman manga form. And it's good. Like chapter 1 was good.
This is the alley where your parents get shot and you start your own origin story.
Yes, exactly.
What were we talking about again?
Batman Justice Buster, which I'm excited for.
Hell yeah. Why did they go with the Buster theme, by the way? I know Iron Man has Hulk Buster. fucking shit, and
isn't it a
everyone
bomb?
uses Buster.
I think it's a military. It might not be a military bomb designation. It might be like a military munitions designation. But like a tank buster is a thing. A bunker buster is a thing. If it's like if it's like it's meant to destroy a tank, it's a tank buster. If it's meant to destroy a bunker, it's a bunker buster. So it's like meant to destroy the Justice League, it's a Justice Buster. Although Justice Buster means you're going to bust justice. That's the opposite of Batman. So
it sounds cooler than Justice League Buster. I get it.
Why don't you call it the Juster? Sense. Right?
That sounds like a horrible incestuous version of both.
It sounds awful.
Yeah, let's stick with Justice Buster. I'm here
This has made me interested to check out the Ultraman comics, though, because like the manga at least, because like these guys are good, and like if I don't really know anything about Ultraman other than I know the sort of the gist.
I'm not a huge Sentai.
Yeah, I'm not really either. I grew up on Power Rangers. I like Ranger Reject. But other than that, I've never been big into... What's the one that's based on bugs over in Japan? That's the other big Super Sentai
Kamen
thing?
Rider?
Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, all those, never been super big into. But, like, if these guys are doing it, like, one chapter's got me interested to, like, maybe I'll go try out, a volume of Ultraman. Maybe it's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like, I tried... The most recent attempt at trying to get into one of those shows was the Trigger show, Gridman.
I watched the first season of that. Yep.
Yeah, even that I wasn't like super into. Well,
yeah,
I was
okay.
into the Sentai parts of it. I like the drama of it all.
Yeah. Anything else?
Real quick. While we're on Batman and superheroes, I wanted to talk about Vibration Man real quick.
Throw it in there. It was a good chapter this week.
Yeah, it was freaking great. Great chapter this week and last week.
A good series of chapters, the last 2 or 3. Yeah.
For sure. Did you read today's chapter?
I did, yes.
Spoilers for Vibration Man up till this point. I thought the ending where it gave us like a little teaser of him kind of destroying the number one guy, the fire guy.
I like
that was a good teaser.
People,
I'm really
people in the
interested.
comments on Reddit were, boy, we're having not a good Reddit Twitter thread day. Got to what I've been complaining about it for the past couple of days, but they were all like, I can't believe they're going to skip the whole fight. I'm like, they're not going to skip the fight. Are you kidding? You're so stupid. Dude. They're about to show us the fight. They're giving us a teaser. Like, what are you doing? If they skip this fight, I will also legitimately be mad. You cannot be mad about them skipping that fight in this chapter. That is a teaser. They're going to show us the fight. It is going to be okay. I promise.
Yeah, like, get angry about it if they skip it next chapter, but like, hold your horses, okay? Buckos, it'll be fine. It is simply a teaser.
Yes, I was not expect. I would thought so many people. I was going to go into the comments and they're going to be like, "Oh, this is so sick. This is so cool. I can't wait to see what the fight looks like." And it was like 10 comments that were like, "I can't believe they skipped the fight. That's so stupid. How did they beat him? How are they going to show us? What are they going to do next chapter?" It's like, whew. Anyways, yes, Vibration Man is great.
Read it. I've read enough like One Piece discourse on Twitter to know that people are brain dead sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, I've encountered enough people to know that people are brain dead sometimes. But Vibration Man is seriously great. And it keeps getting like a little bit better over time, like a little bit more interesting. Or I'm getting more invested just because it's still continuing and keeping up its high quality. So I'm liking it a lot.
We'll have like a proper discussion for it one of these days. But
it'll probably come up. So we're getting pretty close to doing our end of the year awards. That I think is in the running for best new series this year. I would think. I
think so too.
It's definitely. I think we'll definitely nominate it. I don't know if it'll win, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Anything else on those two then?
Nah. Let's talk about Mamayuyu.
Let's talk about. Oh yeah, there. I did have the page in there. This is no laughing matter. Mamayuyu. This is Mamayuyu, story and art by Yoshihiko Hayashi. This author, I believe, won one of the contests or won a one-shot contest or something, and now he's being published. This is an interesting kind of almost isekai-ish fantasy world, but it's a real world about demons and humans fighting. There's a chosen hero and a chosen demon lord, and they fight. Was it like 8 years ago or 18 years ago or something? They came to a peace. It's been peace ever since. So humans and demons live together. That's the kind of background of it. Our main character, whose name is Corleo, who they get his name wrong a lot, which I thought was kind of a funny little gag.
Yeah.
Is sort of been raised by he is the hero. He is the chosen hero who has not seen any conflict, who's been raised by his mother, Mamama. And that kind of leads into him being very lost about, I'm a hero. What does it mean to be a hero? We get a hero from another world who shows up and has essentially like actual magic superpowers. And then he tries to kill him. He summons like a demon thing. This other hero. Turns out that he like sacrifices himself to save him. The Corleo does, and then the second hero guy resurrects him. Says it's your turn to try. Blah blah blah. And that's sort of just the quick and dirty start to Mamayuyu. That's what it's called. Mama is the demon lord. This was, I would say, imperfect, but I'm interested, which I think is a pretty good chapter 1, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say the same. I would say something similar because it felt like half a normal pilot, if you will, because I feel like there is more that I need out of it before I can make a determination of whether this chapter was good. I need to see where it goes from here.
I have to see where it goes.
Effectively. Yep. Yeah. I'm compelled, though. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting subject. I actually think the art, is good. I think this guy's paneling is actually, like, really, really good for what you're dealing with. Some of the art, this monster design here from the big sort of demon that they fight, I thought was awesome. And then
I love the monster design, too, because it was freaky as fuck. But if you go back to that design real quick, I can't help but to fixate on the crying baby face on the left.
I don't even see it.
The old man, old.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah. It didn't strike me as a baby at first because it looks like an older man, but yeah.
It looks like both for some reason, but either way, it was a fucking eldritch abomination. There's also like a little anime face if you didn't notice that, like cute anime girl face at the very top of it.
Yeah. I didn't see that, but yeah, that's good.
Just snuck in there as an Easter egg or something.
It's great though. I mean, like the design of everything here, I think is good. I think the design. I mean, the lead character is pretty generic, but like I think the Mama looks pretty interesting. The paneling here is the stuff like I'm talking about, right? Is that the
very good.
Second hero guy like shrinks the monster into a little box shape, and they show us that by doing this cool kind of collapsing internal paneling, which is really neat. It also uses, did I grab it? Yeah. On the right side of the page here, this is something that's called a traditional 9 panel, which Western comics use a ton, or maybe not a ton, but they use it pretty often. And I hardly ever see these in manga. Just almost never. Could you even tell me the last time you'd seen a 9 panel, sort of equally divided page like this, Scoutum? They're not common in manga. I've maybe seen it one other time. And it's cool that they're using that. Again, that's just a very kind of distinct paneling thing. Even though this feels a little Hunter x Hunter, where it's like, well, there's only 2 or 3 pictures on here and the rest of it's words. I think this paneling is really interesting here with like the words, and it's letting you focus on the character and the few pictures that are here. So really a big fan of the paneling here, and I think the art designs are good. I think the premise is interesting. It definitely is very much reliant. If Chapter 2 is good, I'm along for this ride, even though I think it's not perfect. It's a little, what does it mean to be a hero? It's like, okay, I mean, how many times are we going to ask this question?
It's an easy theme, but I do like the contrast between like the hero who's experienced and him who hasn't had to do a heroic thing in his life.
Right.
And him actually being the bigger hero or being more heroic by nature than the hero who was experienced is. I thought that it's just a pretty strong beat. But we'll have to see where it goes. I have no idea what they do with this, right? Is this going to be a battle shonen? Or is this going to be
I would assume, it'll be some kind of battle shonen. The Corleo will have to learn to fight and understand everything. There's a little bit of plot stuff here where the demon that the secondary guy summons uses Mamama's demon seal to power up and unleash or something. So something with these seals are interesting. I mean, just like the art here is great. Like, I mean, yes, this guy's getting ripped apart on the right side, but like, I think that the Demon Lord's face over there is also just like, that's good art. That's absolutely soul crushing.
I want to see the catch of getting him put back together, right?
Yeah,
and trading your life for someone else's life.
I'm gonna guess that he has all the magical powers he can use now. He has to figure out how to use them. Would that, if I had to guess, the Battle Shonen angle is that one. So,
I hope it's not just a Battle Shonen. That's
yeah.
That is one thing. Is there's something more to it, you know?
Yeah, we have seen before good chapter ones that declined pretty quickly. Talking about you, Earthchild. Which is honestly one of the best first chapters I've maybe ever read, and then everything after that was like absolute dog water. So
that one I can agree with internet discourse that is a perfect one shot that should not have been anything but.
Yep, and that's probably how it was sold, is they won a one shot competition and kept writing it. It didn't really work, but yeah. So interested, it has piqued my interest enough. It's definitely not perfect. It's got to do a little bit more for me to make sure that I'm going to stick with it. But big fan of the art, big fan of the design, huge fan of the paneling in this one. Any other thoughts on this, Gautam?
No, agreed. The chapter asks a lot of questions, so I think how I feel about the chapter depends on kind of the direction it goes.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I thought it was interesting. We'll see what chapter 2 and 3 bring us.
Awesome.
I think we'll get a better understanding after that.
Yep. Oh, and this is the final page, which I thought was a good. I like the title drop at the end. I think that works.
Yeah.
Cool. We got a little bit of news to go through while we're filling in time here. Lots of Weekly Shonen Jump news, actually. There's a new series. So we got Mamayuyu last Sunday, this coming Sunday, so day or two as you're watching or listening to this. The new series called Two on Ice will debut by Itsumo Elk. He was a assistant on Fabricant 100 is his most notable thing. This is an ice skating manga. I saw some people talking about how Medalist is popping off, and that's a really good series. And then we've got what is it? Dog's Red, which is another ice skating manga that seems to be doing pretty well from the Golden Kamui author. Is that right? And then
have you been keeping up with Dog's Red?
I have not seen it. I need to go and check it out because I really liked the first couple chapters.
It's good. It's fun.
Yeah, I really liked the first 3 or 4 chapters already, so I need to go back. But so WSJ said, I want that. Give me ice skating.
Right.
So that's what we're getting this Sunday. There's a sword battle action X revenge manga titled Kagurabachi. This is by Hokozona.
What a stupid descriptor.
Dude, all the descriptions are so stupid. But the art on this Kagurabachi series looks pretty good. This is by Hokozona Takeru. That is coming out September 25th, so that's not this Sunday, but the Sunday after. So that's sort of our third. I guess we're getting. This is our new block. Is these 3?
Do you ever get like incel bait vibes when you read revenge manga? Like when you read the title revenge manga?
I mean, I don't know,
because they're all the same. It's always like, oh, my girlfriend cheated on me, and
that is one form
strong.
of revenge. This one seems to more like someone killed my father revenge, but
they all end up being edgy.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know. WSJ doesn't really do edgy, so maybe that would be an interesting place to dip their toes.
They invented Sasuke.
That's true. Sasuke is also 14-year-old's definition of edgy. It isn't like early chapters Berserk edgy, right? Where it's Guts is literally having sex with a demon and then naked fighting her with a machine gun and a giant sword. Like there's different levels of edgy here.
True.
Yeah, but the art in that one, this guy's done 2 one-shots. One of them is called Chain. The other was called Roku no Meiyaku. I have not heard or read of either of those, so we'll have to keep track of that one. We'll be talking about Two on Ice probably on the next episode, and then in 2 episodes we'll talk about Kagurabachi. Hopefully one of these is pretty good. Hopefully all 3 of them are good. I would love to have a good batch of stuff out of Jump instead of a batch of dog shit and one good thing like it is usually, but we'll see.
I think we will see. Do you think there's a shot that all of them are bad?
I am feeling here's the thing. We've talked about this, that WSJ usually publishes the best thing of a group first, right? Usually, now that isn't always what survives, right? Because they published Tenmaku first back in February or March, and that didn't make it, but Kill Blue and New Age Exorcist, for some fucking reason, all survived. If Mamayuyu is the best thing they put out, it'll be interesting. Because I think if you lose a little bit of if you do Mamayuyu without the, I think, good visuals and good paneling, it's like half as good. Because it's not a super interesting story. The main character is kind of whatever, and we also didn't get a full, like we said, we didn't really get a full exploration of it. But I would hope that we just get a good batch, right? I think that WSJ is desperate for a sports manga. I think ice skating could be the thing. That might just be what's in vogue right now. And I think a sort of classic sword battle action thing, if the action paneling is good, sure. Like, we don't really have a Demon Slayer replacement kind of classic katana wielding main character right now. So
it's just a worrying prospect, because I think like Demon Slayer would have been somewhat insufferable if it was a revenge story.
It's kind of a revenge story, right? I mean, like, he loses his family.
Like, I guess.
Not really. It's like kind of starts like that, but yeah, it's not really after a while. But
I feel like the main character, like, Demon Slayer is bearable because the main character is a pretty optimistic person.
That's true.
I think if we got like the I hate everyone kind of archetype of character, it
doesn't. So let me find you the single piece of art for Kagurabachi, which has been released. Okay, there's already an entire subreddit devoted to it. This is like the one picture we've gotten, right? Which I think looks pretty cool.
Let's see. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's just
he looks like an edgy boy in black.
I mean, it looks a little Matrix-y in my opinion, right? Like Matrix samurai katana stuff. I don't know. I think the art looks pretty clean. Looks good.
Yeah,
I think the character looks like he has a design to him that is not the standard typical 14-year-old shonen protagonist, which I can appreciate.
That's true.
So
yeah, I guess we'll see. I don't know.
We'll have to get that in 2 weeks. Some other announcements. So some stuff that you can go and read now that you could not previously. Viz Media is going to release Naoki Urasawa with Takashi Nagasaki's Pluto. That's Urasawa and Urasawa and Nagasaki's Pluto. That is the Urasawa's rewriting of Tezuka's Astro Boy arc by the same name. Or no, it's called The Greatest Robot on Earth, I think is the name of it. But this is a big deal. For me specifically, because I fucking love Naoki Urasawa. He's the greatest manga author of all time. And also because Urasawa's manga have not been available digitally up to this moment, especially not in the US. So
that's
Pluto
crazy.
is going to be the first thing. It's going to be on Viz. Viz is only like $3 a month. And hopefully, I would hope that this leads to more of his manga getting officially translated, localized, and brought over here, because Monster, I have mentioned, if you've been listening to us for a couple months, Monster is the greatest thing I've ever read. Like, one of the greatest things I've ever read, hands down, period, book. One of the greatest pieces of art I've ever consumed. Monster is amazing. That's Naoki Urasawa. Pluto is also similarly exceptional. Billy Bat is, I love Billy Bat. 20th Century Boy is also very good. Not my favorite of his, but I love it a lot. So, and no one has translated his other works, not even fan trans. There's like a little bit of fan translations of some of his other stuff, but not everything, because I wanted to go back and read everything he had ever done, and I just can't in English. So I hope they bring over more stuff.
That's weird. That's odd, considering he's so prolific and famous.
He's literally been called like the golden calf of Japan or something, like the golden goose of Japan. Like, he just lays golden eggs and they're amazing, and he wins awards, and it's awesome.
That's why it's so odd. Anyway,
yeah,
I'm sure we'll see more. I know I played like Witcher 2, and I wanted to read all the books.
Yeah. And
only like Sword of Destiny and one other book was translated at the time, and when Witcher 3 came out, all of them got translated super fast. So
all of them, yeah. And this is in preparation, I would assume, for the Pluto anime, which is coming out in, I believe, October, which I'm going to check out because Pluto is absolutely sick. Amazing. And hey, if you're not into more adult seinen themed stuff, I have some good news for you. if you go on the Weekly Shonen Jump app, or I believe it'll be on Viz or Jump, no, it's called Jump Plus. What is it called on our side? Whatever it's called. Yu Yu Hakusho is on those now. You can go have some fun.
Manga Plus?
Manga Plus, there you go. Yeah, I was like, man, there's too many Manga Plus, Jump Plus. Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho now available in the West if you subscribe to those. I believe it's definitely on the Viz Media app, so you go check that out.
Okay, let me tell y'all some strats. The manga is great, but I would watch the anime because the ending is better.
You think?
Oh yeah, so much better. Infinitely better. And even then it's a mediocre ending. So but the very end, like the final episode is really good. And also watch it dubbed. The dub has so much charm. And they take a lot of stilted translations from Japanese to English and they localize it in a way that makes Yusuke actually seem like a punk. And a little piece of shit. And I think it's great. So go check out the dub for that.
Interesting. I'm not going to do either of those. I'm going to read it. But everyone else listen to... Because I just like manga more than anime, especially the 90s stuff. But yeah.
Let me know what you think of the ending.
We'll see. I am not sure if I will like Yu Yu Hakusho. I just... Generic battle shonen might not be my thing. I've tried to read Bleach. I've not tried to read Naruto. I did not like... I mean, I made into Bleach, and I can say I can see why people like this when they were 12 or 13 or 14. This seems awesome. I am 33. This is not that good for me.
If you're talking about writing, I think it is much better than those.
Okay, yeah.
But I am not sure if you will like it either. It has been iterated upon, and then even further iterated upon. So
it's
you'll see some stuff that it did that other people have taken and used and changed. Yeah,
for sure. If you're even older than we are, you're going to be happy. Fist of the North Star got a brand new anime announcement for its 40th anniversary.
Cool.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I have not... I've watched maybe one episode of Fist of the North Star and read a little bit about it when I was watching JoJo, because Fist of the North Star is the biggest influence on the way that JoJo looks, for sure, especially early on. The kind of big buff guys, standard fighting. What is the like sun power called in JoJo from the first 2 seasons? Don't even remember. Hamon. It's called Hamon.
Okay.
Hamon is like a 1-to-1 rip of whatever the power system in Fist of the North Star is. So, yeah, curious to see if the new anime. I bet people like the new anime because I think it's sort of an original, seinen action story. It's just one of those things that's just simple.
It's kind of hammy and fun too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also, if you've seen Kill Bill, that's where they get the 5-point palm,
five finger death punch or whatever.
Yeah, exploding heart technique, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's fun.
Yeah, he just he does that in Fist of the North Star. He just pokes people a bunch, and the guy's like, "You think that hurt me?" And he's like, "You're already dead."
It's like, you take 5 steps, you die.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Other news, a little bit of a sad one. The creator of the manga Space Adventure Cobra, Buichi Terasawa, has passed away at 68. I put this in here because this is interesting that I was looking for... I don't remember what I was looking for. Maybe just like, what are some of the most well-regarded manga of all time? And Space Adventure Cobra showed up in a lot of series, and I read the first chapter of it. I didn't continue reading it, but I gotta say, the first chapter of Space Adventure Cobra is one of the best first chapters I've ever read. It introduces you to everything. It has a nice little twist in it. Main character's kind of a sort of late 60s, 70s kind of not hardcore, like a punk with a heart of gold type character. A ruffian, a Han Solo type, you could say. Really, really good chapter 1, so I can definitely advise you to go and read at least that. This is a very popular series back in the day, so rest in peace, Buichi Terasawa. We also have some news. So a Japanese YouTuber, you may have seen this on your feed if you keep up with this kind of stuff. A Japanese YouTuber was arrested for uploading and monetizing edited videos of Spy Family anime and the ending of the visual novel Steins Gate, My Darling's Embrace. He was sentenced to 2 years in prison or 5 years suspended sentence and a 1 million yen fine, which is $10,000 US around.
That's crazy, but also what does that mean? Like, was it just one-to-one rips of the episodes and the ends?
I mean, I don't think it was an episode rip. I think he was maybe doing like reaction over it. People are more concerned that the visual novel stuff. The visual novel stuff was just a playthrough, like a normal streamer would do. So a lot of the outcry I've heard here is stuff around like, okay, can you just not play visual novels on a stream in Japan if you're a Japanese streamer? Japan is pretty backwards in these things, and their copyright laws are very strict, and they are laws. Whereas you break copyright here, you are fined. You are generally not jailed. This guy could potentially be jailed. I think it's more likely he gets off on the sort of 5 years probation, $10,000 thing. But
surely then, that's shortened even more. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get off with good behavior or whatever in, I don't know, 3. Maybe Japan does that. I don't know. But yeah, just interesting to see that, you could watch an anime and talk about it, or, do a playthrough of a visual novel, and Japan can just come get you. So be careful.
Yeah. Nue's Exorcist fans, don't come at us.
I promise. Don't be fine, Gautam. No, Nue's Exorcist, put all the panels up on the videos talking about it. Do it. Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't even worry about it.
No, I love it. I promise.
By the time you are listening to this episode, it will probably be the 16th when this episode goes up. Delicious in Dungeon will have ended. That is ending on September 15th. We're recording this on the 13th, so next week that'll be probably one of our big discussion points.
What a fucking ride it's been, huh?
It's been great. I'm going to be sad to see it go. That anime, I believe, is premiering in January, so we'll get to sort of experience it time 2. But yeah, going to miss that one. That's a good one, and its last chapter, I think, is going to be great, so...
I can't see, like, it's set up so well that I can't see it not being awesome. But you'll know that better than us when you're hearing this, huh?
Yeah. The author has essentially hit the ball out of the park. The follow-through is perfect, and now it's like, all right, are they going to accidentally drop the bat on their toe in the last chapter? Probably not. It seems like they're a pretty good baseball player, if we're making that analogy. So,
agreed.
Last piece of news I've got here. Fruits Basket creator Natsuki Takaya has a new romance series titled In Such a Small World, starting tomorrow on the Manga Park app. This is a romance between two neighbors who bond thanks to a small dog in the apartment complex. This is huge news for shoujo fans, because Fruits Basket, I believe, is the highest selling romance manga in Japan, maybe ever. I
think so.
It's hugely popular, incredibly well selling. And 2 different anime adaptations. The new one is very, very well regarded. If you're into romance manga, shoujo, josei, whatever you want to call it or classify it as, this is big news. This is like, what can I compare this to? This is J.K. Rowling coming back to write more Hogwarts, right? Like it is the romance author of one of the most popular romance series saying, "All right, I'm coming back to write a new romance thing." So
I think that would be big news for a different reason these days, but I agree.
I couldn't think of a better one. It's George Lucas coming back to make more Star Wars. That's also not a good one. There's no good.
Man, the double whammy.
I can't. It's because it's like Quentin Tarantino. It's like he's still kind of making movies. It's Hayao Miyazaki. Well, he also has retired 4 times.
He never quits,
he's not
right?
Quit, so
there's
back.
no example.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I'm gonna probably just check this out from chapter 1 as long as we get it over here, because why not? I like romance, and she's again one of the most highly well-regarded authors. So,
and you own a small dog. You can get some tips.
And I own a mostly small dog. So yeah. Any other news or discussion?
Sweet. I think and correct me if I'm wrong, people listening, but I think the appeal of Fruits Basket is a fantastical element. This one seems more grounded and wholesome, so it seems like it'll be like I don't think it'll be huge like Fruits Basket, but it sounds like it will be something I'd enjoy more.
Yeah, well, and Fruits Basket I think also has the appeal of having like at least 16 characters in it, because I believe they're based on the Zodiac, or 12, I guess, or more. So it's sort of like there's a couple of romantic pairings, and you kind of have the competition element, and there's a little bit of a harem twinge, even though it's not really a harem. It's got a lot of different things going for it. I've watched not all of season 1 of the anime, but a lot of it, a good chunk of it. So it's good. It's not necessarily for me. It's definitely kind of it's a romance, I think, made and written for girls, but I was still well written, good character stuff. So
yeah, fair enough.
Cool. Anything else you wanted to bring up or chat about, Gautam, before we go to our one last thing here?
Nah, let's head over.
Cool. Why don't you go? What are you doing the rest of this week? What have you been doing? What's on your plate?
I played like 5 hours of Starfield. I was not a fan. I didn't like it really.
Yeah.
I thought it was boring. And usually I like Bethesda games, but like the world didn't interest me. Nothing about it really interested me, which was kind of surprising because I went in with zero expectations. Nothing stood out at all.
I've been hearing a lot of mixed things about Starfield, enough so, and to where I was interested to play it, and then I heard some of the reviews, and I don't think I'm interested to play it anymore. Because my big thing that I like about Bethesda games, and I do really like Bethesda games, is like you can just go in a direction and walk and discover cool stuff. And apparently you just can't do that in Starfield. So it's like, okay, that's my favorite part of Bethesda games. If it's not in it, the games are not for me. So.
And maybe this changes because I only have 5 hours, which is wild to say only about, but it was pretty empty. I didn't love the writing. I didn't like much about it, but I'm comparing it in my brain to the fucking hitters this year. Yeah. I replayed Elden Ring. I beat Tears of the Kingdom. I played Baldur's Gate and beat
Tears
that.
of the Kingdom, BG3.
It's too much good shit.
Armored Core 6.
Yeah, Armored Core 6. Yeah. This was a great
Final Fantasy
year for
16, also a pretty good game. Not perfect, but very fun.
That was also solid. But yeah, it was like such a good year that mediocrity stands out even more.
Yeah, and they hyped it up a lot. So your expectation, they're self-raising their expectations for your game, and to get what is essentially like Skyrim in space without the discovery is like, or Fallout 4 in space, no discovery. To me, that's like, okay, well you've taken my favorite part, easily the best part of the Bethesda game, and just it's not there anymore. So.
Yeah, right. Like
yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of Fallout 4, but at least even then, I liked the Fallout world. So it was fun,
the world's
wandering around.
And yeah. So,
but just not a fan. Hopefully, other people like it though.
Yep, I hope so too.
How about you, Bruce? What'd you get up to?
This morning they released Monster Hunter Now, which is a Niantic, which is the Pokemon Go people mobile game. This is Pokemon Go, but Monster Hunter. Boy, I'm into it. I have played for 2 or 3 hours today. I walked my dog an extra time so that I could go fight some monsters. It's such an easy, addicting thing.
For that?
Yes. Well, you aren't capturing them. So you fight there'll be little monsters everywhere, and then you'll have to go get the big monsters. And so it's fun. I don't know, man. You click on the screen, brain feels good.
Them. Yeah, you fight them for the parts, just like in the game,
exactly.
Right? Oh, okay. Cool.
Exactly. It's kind of it's a scaled down. Like you fight them, you get parts. Your parts can create armor or upgrade weapons or make new weapons. Eventually you unlock different weapons. Everybody starts with just a sword and shield, which is one of my favorite weapons, luckily. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like Pokemon Go was when it came out for me, which is like, oh yeah, just like take a walk, brain feel good. Click phone, brain feel good. Brain feel good. Me keep doing this. So it's monkey brain. It's awesome. I don't know.
Next week you'll be talking about how you took out a loan for monster balls or whatever the monetization
it's potions. They assume you're going to take some damage, and once you're out of health, you just die and you can't fight monsters anymore, or you're knocked out or something. But yeah, but it's fun. That, and I just wanted to say that we both watched and finished the One Piece live action. There are some reaction deep dive videos on the channel that you should see. The last one of those should be going up tomorrow morning. Well, so last one of those is already up when you're listening to this. It went up Thursday, so go check those out. I had a lot of fun doing that. We really enjoyed One Piece live action.
That was a blast, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely not as good as the manga, but hopefully more people get into the manga or the anime there. The story in general is
impossible standard, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Impossible standards to easily what will end up being the greatest selling comic thing of all time in a couple of years here. That it's at an impossible height to reach, but it was still really good, and I think that they got it. There's been a lot of talk on my Twitter timeline about season 2, about how they already had discussions with Oda about it. They already know what they're doing. I think the scripts were already written, maybe they said. So, which I might challenge them to go back and double check those scripts, because some of the scripting was maybe my less favorite part of season 1, but exciting.
Yeah, I'm. Didn't they say it's like they're just waiting for the writer's strike to end before they're continuing, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I would guess that Netflix in general is not going to greenlight a show when they can't have anyone work on it at all.
Yeah, fair.
So, we may or may not get a confirmation before those strikes are over. Most people are predicting those strikes are going to last like probably through the holidays, so we'll see. That's almost 6 months without any production in Hollywood, or very, very little production in Hollywood, so yeah.
Which is I saw like an article today that said like the head of Fox says they need to get the writers working again in the next 2 weeks to salvage this coming season of TV.
Interesting.
Yeah, some season of TV that's...
that might get something on the table then.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see how this all plays out.
Yep. I wish them all the best. All power to guilds and... What is the other word I'm looking for? The groups of people bartering together. Keep doing that.
Guilds. Associations.
Yeah, why can't I think of it? I don't know.
Screen actors.
Power, take down the bourgeoisie, power to the proletariat.
Yeah, true that.
Hammer and sicker, all that good jazz. Anyways, anything else, Gautam? Or are we good to go this week?
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Let's get out of here. Hey, thank you again for listening or watching, everyone. Don't forget, leave us some feedback, leave us a comment, let us know why you think New Age Exorcist deserves anything other than to just be canceled. Give us an upvote, give us a thumbs up, whatever positive reinforcement you can leave us, please go do that. If you want to check out a bit more manga content, follow me on Twitter at WGBManga. You can also find our Patreon at the same little ending. That's patreon.com/WGBManga. Gautam, you're a part of the podcast too, so this is the part where you say goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, let me know what you think of the ending of Yu Yu Hakusho. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you for being with us yet again this week, and don't forget to read more manga.